Now is Hazel Crest Police Chief Mitchell Davis. He's also the Vice President of the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police. Good evening. Thanks for being with us. You heard some of the arguments there from the aldermen. Where do you stand on this?
You know what? We're not actually we're not that far apart. What we've realized in criminal justice reform, which I've been working in for quite some time, is that quite often all the things that needs to be taken care of within communities often get put on the police to handle. And and that's what we do. We handle what the things that are given to us. But there are things that could be done by professionals in specific areas where they could be more effective. So having those resources available to our communities actually can be a win-win, both for the police and for the community.
But Chief, when people talk about defunding police, they're specifically talking about taking money away from local police departments, giving them to mental health services, other community-based services that presumably would help some of the folks that your officers come into contact with. Can many departments afford to continue policing in a meaningful way with less money? I know it's a struggle in the south suburbs particularly.
Absolutely. So it would definitely present challenges for us. Police departments are funded locally. And as you mentioned, in the Southland, quite often our tax base, which funds us, is even more limited than others. And so, yes, it definitely would strap our departments who are almost, I don't know of a department that's operating with a surplus anywhere, or any size department. So it would present challenges. But, as the alderman said, we've got to try something different. And we've been fighting for these different changes to take place, and we're just praying that they can find funding without decimating our police departments to be able to put these things in place that we know actually will work.
What do you think about a blanket defunding and how it will impact safety in each of those communities where it might happen?
Well, the reality of it is, if we reduce funding to the police department, we're going to reduce police service to some extent. The police department provides valuable services on a day-to-day basis. We answer every gamut of call to provide services to communities, and we are necessary to the community. And it will present a challenge. It definitely will present a challenge with any funds that are taken away from us.
So what are reforms that you feel like chiefs across the state, in your capacity with the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police, might be willing to sign on to when it comes to holding officers accountable, transparency, restoring trust, the theory of police legitimacy in the communities that you serve? What are some real reforms that will have people thinking, already, I get it, the police can police themselves?
So the Illinois Police Chiefs Association partnered with the NAACP after the Ferguson incident with Michael Brown. And we came up with what's called 10 shared principles, where there are 10 mutually agreed upon principles whereby we hold law enforcement and the community, we come together to hold law enforcement accountable and to make the community partners with us. And the first tenet in those 10 shared principles is value of life. That's the very first one. It's value of life for the community and for law enforcement. The 10th principle in those 10 shared principles is making sure that we're looking out for everybody and making sure that we're treating everybody fairly. And had we done those things, the value of life and making sure that we're de-escalating. That's the main thing, de-escalating when it's prohibited, or when we're able to do it, to de-escalate. Had those first and 10 principles been followed in Minnesota, George Floyd would be here today.
Chief, in Minneapolis, the city council is saying, too far gone. This police department cannot be reformed. What would you say about the possibility of enforcing some of that here?
So, while speaking from the heart, I'm sure that they've had other problems. I'm sure that they're frustrated and they may feel that the force is too far gone, but to totally decimate a police department and to try to start over, that's a huge lift. That's a very heavy lift, and it would take a very long time. And it's not to say that it can't happen, but I would imagine that it would present quite a bit of challenges. But there are things in place. President Obama's 21st century policing efforts, the things that they came up with, it's out there already. We don't have to create these things. We just have to implement them. They exist already.
Chief, we appreciate your time. We appreciate your perspective. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Tom Skilling.